Welcome once again to another session of Share Your Favorite Sutta. Today's Sutta is the Ghaṭikāra Sutta, MN 81, from the Majjhima Nikāya, taken from the middle-length Discourses of the Buddha, a translation of the Majjhima Nikāya, translated by Bhikkhu Ñāṇamoli and Bhikkhu Bodhi. This sutta is requested by a good friend of the Buddhist fellowships, so lean back, make yourself comfortable, and enjoy. Thus have I heard. On one occasion, the Blessed One was wandering among the Kosalans, together with a large sangha of bhikkhus. Then, in a certain place beside the main road, the Blessed One smiled. It occurred to the Venerable Ananda, what is the reason, what is the cause for the Blessed One's smile? The Tathagatas do not smile for no reason. So he arranged his upper robe on one shoulder and extending his hands in reverential salutation towards the Blessed One, asked him, Venerable Sir, what is the reason? What is the cause for the Blessed One's smile? The Tathagatas do not smile for no reason. Once, Ananda, in this place there was a prosperous and busy market town called Vebalinga, with many inhabitants and crowded with people. Now the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, lived near the market town Vebalinga. It was here, in fact, that the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, had his monastery. It was here, in fact, that the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, resided and advised the sangha of bhikkhus. Then the Venerable Ananda folded his patchwork cloak in four, and spreading it out, said to the Blessed One, Then, Venerable Sir, let the Blessed One be seated. Thus, this place will have been used by two accomplished ones, fully enlightened ones. The Blessed One sat down on the seat that had been made ready and addressed the Venerable Ananda thus. Once, Ananda, in this place, there was a prosperous and busy market town called Vebalinga with many inhabitants and crowded with people. Now the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, lived near the market town Vebalinga. It was here, in fact, that the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, had his monastery. It was here, in fact, that the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, resided and advised the sangha of bhikkhus. In Vebalinga, the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, had as a supporter, as his chief supporter, a potter named Ghaṭikāra. Ghaṭikāra the potter had as a friend, as his close friend, a Brahmin student called Jotipala. One day, the potter Ghaṭikāra addressed the Brahmin student Jotipala thus, My dear Jotipala, let us go and see the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened. I hold that it is good to see the Blessed One, accomplished and fully enlightened. The Brahmin student Jotipala replied, Enough, my dear friend. Enough, my dear Ghaṭikāra, I beg your pardon. What is the use of seeing that bald-headed, bald-pated recluse? The second and third time, the potter Ghaṭikāra said, My dear Jotipala, let us go and see the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened. I hold that it is good to see that Blessed One, accomplished and fully enlightened. And the second and third time, the Brahmin student Jotipala replied, Enough, my dear Ghaṭikāra. What is the use of seeing that bald-pated recluse? Then, my dear Jotipala, let us take a loofah and bath powder and go to the river to bathe. Very well, Jotipala replied. So the potter Ghaṭikāra and the Brahmin student Jotipala took a loofah and bath powder and went to the river to bathe. Then Ghaṭikāra said to Jotipala, My dear Jotipala, there is the monastery of the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, quite nearby. Let us go and see the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened. I hold that it is good to see the Blessed One, accomplished and fully enlightened. Jotipala replied, Enough, my dear Ghaṭikāra. What is the use of seeing that bald-pated recluse? Second and third time, Ghaṭikāra said, My dear Jotipala, there is the monastery of the Blessed One Kassapa. And the second and third time, the Brahmin student Jotipala replied, Enough, my dear Ghaṭikāra. What is the use of seeing that bald-pated recluse? Then the potter Ghaṭikāra seized the Brahmin student Jotipala by the belt and said, My dear Jotipala, there is the monastery of the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, quite nearby. Let us go and see the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened. I hold that it is good to see the Blessed One, accomplished and fully enlightened. Then the Brahmin student Jotipala undid his belt and said, Enough, my dear Ghaṭikāra. What is the use of seeing that bald-pated recluse? Then, when the Brahmin student Jotipala had washed his head, the potter Ghaṭikāra seized him by the hair and said, My dear Jotipala, there is the monastery of the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, quite nearby. Let us go and see the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened. I hold that it is good to see the Blessed One, accomplished and fully enlightened. Then the Brahmin student Jotipala thought, It is wonderful, it is marvelous that this potter Ghaṭikāra, who is of a different birth, should presume to seize me by the hair when we have washed our heads. Surely this can be no simple matter. And he said to the potter Ghaṭikāra, You go as far as this, my dear Ghaṭikāra? I go as far as this, my dear Jotipala, for so much do I hold that it is good to see the Blessed One, accomplished and fully enlightened. Then, my dear Ghaṭikāra, let go of me. Let us visit him. So Ghaṭikāra the potter and Jotipala the Brahmin student went to the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened. Ghaṭikāra, after paying homage to him, sat down at one side, while Jotipala exchanged greetings with him. And when this courteous and amiable talk was finished, he too sat down at one side. Ghaṭikāra then said to the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, Venerable Sir, this is the Brahmin student Jotipala, my friend, my close friend. Let the Blessed One teach him the Dhamma. Then the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, instructed, urged, roused, and gladdened Ghaṭikāra the potter and Jotipala the Brahmin student with an exposition of the Dhamma. At the conclusion of the exposition, having delighted and rejoiced in the Blessed One Kassapa's words, they rose from their seats, and after paying homage to the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, keeping him on their right, they departed. Then Jotipala asked Ghaṭikāra, Now that you have heard this Dhamma, my dear Ghaṭikāra, why don't you go forth from the home life into homelessness? My dear Jotipala, don't you know that I support my blind and aged parents? Then, my dear Ghaṭikāra, I shall go forth from the home life into homelessness. So Ghaṭikāra the potter and Jotipala the Brahmin student went to the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened. After paying homage to him, they sat down at one side, and Ghaṭikāra the potter said to the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, Venerable Sir, this is the Brahmin student Jotipala, my friend, my close friend. Let the Blessed One give him the going forth. And the Brahmin student Jotipala received the going forth from the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished, fully enlightened, and received the full admission. Then not long after Jotipala, the Brahmin student, had received the full admission, a half month after he had received the full admission, the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, having stayed at Vebalinga as long as he chose, set out to wander towards Benares. Wandering by stages, he eventually arrived at Benares, and there he went to live in the deer park at Isipatana. Now King Kiki of Kasi heard. It seems that the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, has reached Benares and is living in the deer park at Isipatana. So he had a number of state carriages made ready, and mounting a state carriage, drove up from Benares with the full pomp of royalty in order to see the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened. He went thus as far as the road was passable for carriages, and then he got down from his carriage and went forward on foot to the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened. After paying homage to him, he sat down at one side, and the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, instructed, urged, roused, and gladdened King Kiki of Kasi with an exposition of the Dhamma. At the conclusion of the exposition, King Kiki of Kasi said, "Venerable Sir, let the Blessed One, together with the Sangha of Bhikkhus, consent to accept tomorrow's meal from me." And the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, accepted in silence. Then, knowing that the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, had accepted, he rose from his seat, and after paying homage to him, keeping him on his right, he departed. Then, when the night had ended, King Kiki of Kasi had good food of various kinds, prepared in his own dwelling, red rice stored in the sheaf with the dark grains picked out, along with many sauces and curries. And he had the time announced to the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened thus: "It is time, Venerable Sir, the meal is ready." Then, it being morning, the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, dressed, and taking his bowl and outer robe, he went with the Sangha of Bhikkhus to the dwelling of King Kiki of Kasi, and sat down on the seat made ready. Then, with his own hands, King Kiki of Kasi served and satisfied the Sangha of Bhikkhus, headed by the Buddha, with the various kinds of good food. When the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, had eaten and had put his bowl aside, King Kiki of Kasi took a low seat, sat down at one side, and said, "Venerable Sir, let the Blessed One accept from me a residence for the rains in Benares. That will be helpful for the Sangha." "Enough, King. My residence for the rains has already been provided for." A second and a third time, King Kiki of Kasi said, "Venerable Sir, let the Blessed One accept from me a residence for the rains in Benares. That will be helpful for the Sangha." "Enough, King. My residence for the rains had already been provided for." The king thought, "The Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, does not accept from me a residence for the rains in Benares." And he was very disappointed and sad. Then he said, "Venerable Sir, have you a better supporter than I am?" "I have, great king. There's a market town called Vebalinga, where a potter named Ghaṭikāra lives. He is my supporter, my chief supporter." Now you, great king, thought, "The Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, does not accept from me a residence for the rains in Benares." And you were very disappointed and sad. But the potter Ghaṭikāra is not and will not be so. The potter Ghaṭikāra has gone for refuge to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. He abstains from killing living beings, from taking what is not given. from misconduct in sensual pleasures, from false speech, and from wine, liquor, and intoxicants, which are the basis of negligence. He has perfect confidence in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, and he possesses the virtues loved by the noble ones. He is free from doubt about suffering, about the origin of suffering, about the cessation of suffering, and about the way leading to the cessation of suffering. He eats only one meal a day. He observes celibacy. He is virtuous, of good character. He has laid aside gems and gold. He has given up gold and silver. He does not dig the ground for clay using a pick with his own hand. What is left over from embankments or thrown up by rats, he brings home in a carrier. When he has made a pot, he says, "Let anyone who likes set down some selected rice or selected beans or selected lentils, and let him take away whatever he likes." He supports his blind and aged parents. Having destroyed the 5 lower fetters, he is one who will reappear spontaneously in the Pure Abodes and there attain final Nibbana without ever returning from that world. On one occasion, when I was living at Vebalinga, it being morning, I dressed, and taking my bowl and outer robe, I went to the potter Ghaṭikāra's parents and asked them, "Where has the potter gone, please?" "Venerable Sir, your supporter has gone out, but take rice from the cauldron and sauce from the saucepan and eat." I did so and went away. Then the potter Ghaṭikāra went to his parents and asked, "Who has taken the rice from the cauldron and sauce from the saucepan, eaten and gone away?" "My dear, the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, did." Then the potter Ghaṭikāra thought, "It is a gain for me. It is a great gain for me that the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, has so much trust in me." And rapture, happiness never left him for a half-month, or his parents for a week. On another occasion, when I was living at Vebalinga, it being morning, I dressed, and taking my bowl and outer robe, I went to the potter Ghaṭikāra's parents and asked them, "Where has the potter gone, please?" "Venerable Sir, your supporter has gone out, but take some porridge from the vessel, and sauce from the saucepan and eat." I did so and went away. Then the potter Ghaṭikāra went to his parents and asked, "Who has taken the porridge from the vessel and sauce from the saucepan, eaten and gone away?" "My dear, the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, did." Then the potter Ghaṭikāra thought, "It is a gain for me. It is a great gain for me that the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, has so much trust in me." And rapture and happiness never left him for a half-month, or his parents for a week. On another occasion, when I was living at Vebalinga, my heart leaped, and I addressed the bhikkhus thus, "Go, bhikkhus, and find out if there's any grass at the potter Ghaṭikāra's house." "Venerable Sir, there is no grass at the potter Ghaṭikāra's house. There is the grass thatch on his roof. Go, bhikkhus, and remove the grass from the potter Ghaṭikāra's house." They did so. Then the potter Ghaṭikāra's parents asked the bhikkhus, "Who is removing the grass from the house?" "Sister, the hut of the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, is leaking." "Take it, Venerable Sirs, take it, dear ones." Then the potter Ghaṭikāra went to his parents and asked, "Who has removed the grass from the roof?" "The bhikkhus did, my dear. The hut of the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, is leaking." Then the potter Ghaṭikāra thought, "It is a gain for me. It is a great gain for me that the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, has so much trust in me." and the rapture and happiness never left him for half a month or his parents for a week. Then that house remained 3 whole months with the sky for a roof, and yet no rain came in. Such is the potter Ghaṭikāra. It is the gain for the potter Ghaṭikāra. It is a great gain for him that the Blessed One Kassapa, accomplished and fully enlightened, relies on him thus. Then King Kiki of Kasi dispatched to the potter Ghaṭikāra 500 cartloads of red rice stored in the sheaf, and also source materials to go with it. Then the king's men went to the potter Ghaṭikāra and told him, "Venerable sir, there are 500 cartloads of red rice stored in the sheaf, and also source materials to go with it, dispatched to you by the King Kiki of Kasi. Please accept them." "The king is very busy and has much to do. I have enough. Let this be for the king himself." Now, Ananda, you may think thus. Certainly, someone else was the Brahmin student Jotipala on that occasion, but it should not be regarded thus. I was the Brahmin student Jotipala on that occasion. That is what the Blessed One said. The Venerable Ananda was satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words. This concludes the Ghaṭikāra Sutta from the Majjhima Nikāya. But the story is not ended here. Many lifetimes later, when Jotipala became our supremely enlightened Gotama Buddha, Ghaṭikāra, who was born in the Pure Abodes, came down and paid his respects to his old friend, and thus two old friends were reunited again. So do tune in to the next episode. If you would like to share your favorite sutta with your friends, do let us know. The details are in this poster. A donation will be most welcome, and the proceeds will go towards Buddhist Fellowship's Building Fund. But if you are unable to offer a donation, this is fine as well. We will still be delighted to read your favorite sutta online. For more information, please email us at info@buddhistfellowship.org. Thank you once again for tuning in, and we hope you have enjoyed this sutta. And we hope to see you all again soon.